Hello everyone, it is a wonderful Tuesday evening and this is your new episode of HopEUm from the West. I'm going to be your host, Kitty, as I have officially joined G2 as their co-streamer, so you'll be seeing me quite a lot more around the G2 facility and working with the boys. And we have 3 beautiful faces joining us for today on our newest episode. So let's bring them in. We have Brizz, Sola, and Trevor. Okay, so what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on actually is the right question. What the fuck are those glasses? Quickshot and Sola.
Sola, yours are the best. You remind me, there's a DJ on Instagram called Virgint, and he basically makes rave songs out of like doors opening stuff. You look awesome.
Yeah, that's
dude.
me when I'm not playing League. That's actually my alter ego.
I wasn't invited to the club, guys. Okay, for all the people that are watching us on our streams, please rate who has the best sunnies for today, because we have Trevor with the boxy Rihanna glasses. Okay,
Rihanna, what?
Burberry. I see it, Burberry. Very classic quick shot. Brizz got your classic square, a bit of a trapezium going on over here. Very stock and standard. Can't go wrong with the classic
Italian
as well.
style.
Italiano. And then Sola. Sola got some very stylish sunnies for today. So
He looks like Salt Bay doing things like this.
yeah, I like that.
The funny thing is, you can't see anything through them. They're actually literally not see-through.
So why you have them on?
I don't fucking know.
On just for the style. So 1, 2, 3, we need people to let us know who has the best sunnies. But quick shot. So it's been a week since we last got your recent update on live. How are things?
Good. I am wearing sunglasses to hide my eyes. For Brizz or Sola, or people maybe who didn't know, I haven't heard yet. My son was born a little over a week and a half ago.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congrats,
His name is
man.
Ash. He's doing very well. To be brutally honest, all he does is eat, sleep, and then poop. I will tell you this:
Your average League of Legends player.
they don't warn you that when you're changing a newborn's nappy and they poop, it squirts like a water pistol. So just FYI, like if anyone becomes a parent, be prepared for that, because I wasn't.
Wait, so is your baby a weapon? Can you use your baby as a weapon?
I can show you my clothing and I'll show you the damage that has been done. So,
Oh my God.
yes, there's emotional damage. I'm really good. Happy, healthy, wife is good, and baby is good. So thank you for asking.
That's very sweet. Brizz, I heard you play some solo queue earlier.
Amazing.
I'm tilted like a monkey. I don't even know.
We
what
can't
that
tell
is.
though.
And yeah, I have the glasses because I'm not sleeping, because people are griefing me every time. And every time I play, I got these guys that are like the kid of Quickshot, legit doing nothing and griefing me all the time. So I'm not happy at all. So I'm the opposite of Quickshot right now.
Brizz, but after every loss streak is a win streak. So
No.
depending on how many you lost, you're gonna be in time or in due time for that win streak. Sola, where have you been?
I actually played League Classic against you, Briss, a couple days ago.
Yes,
like
you
1 week
stomped me.
ago. Yeah.
Sola shit on you?
Yeah, he
it
was playing
was my
with
team.
German co-streamers. I was playing with
Yeah.
Fruity.
Oh, so you're
Fruity
saying
Loops
Sola
guy.
got boosted. Sola was like boosted by the team or
So
something.
basically, what we did is we rented a boat on the weekend, and we did like it's sort of like a joke on the word. In German, boat means boat, like
Yeah.
similar. And we didn't do a boot camp, but we did a boat camp. So we actually played League
Wait.
Classic for 36 hours on a boat, and we sailed through Berlin on the Spree. And we had to do challenges and stuff like that.
There's a movie that ended with drinking like Das Boot, and they have to like chug a beer, and they have to joke that they turn the boot.
Yeah,
at the
we
end
should
so it
have
doesn't
done
splash
that.
in
We
the
actually
face.
didn't do
You
that.
should
It was a
have done
missed
that.
opportunity.
Yeah, but why
so-
I have
But
to
other than that, it was really
Why I
nice.
have to play against pro players doing boot camps or stuff like this?
Dude, boat scam. First of all,
Yeah.
Brizz lost to 5 people on a boat. Second of all, how's the internet connection? How do you even have
Yes.
internet connection on a boat?
Basically, the
There's no
internet was
Ethernet.
really good until we crossed bridges. Like every time we were under a bridge, we had
So you guys
disconnect
all
for 5
AFK'd.
seconds.
And I still lost.
We had 2 Starlings on both ends of the boat. And when the front side entered, the first half of the team had to disconnect. And then when the back side of the boat went under, the second half of the team had to disconnect. And then we could play again after
And you
we
still stomp
left the
Brizz.
bridge.
I'm
Jeez,
getting
Brizz, you
tilted.
suck, dude.
Dude,
You
I'm tilting.
suck.
I was not tilted like that before the conversation. Now I'm on the moon right now.
Is that the first time a 5-man team has ever played League of Legends on a boat?
Could be,
This
yeah.
has to be
I
a
think
historical first.
It might be the first
has to
5
be a
Germans.
world's first,
It might
yeah.
be the first 5
Yeah.
Germans because they're not the most like adventurous, fun type of people. You know, I think that's fair to say. So
Would you
We did step
recommend
outside
other
of our
people?
comfort zone, yeah.
Would you
I would
recommend other
highly
people?
recommend it. It was amazing, actually, but
Oh.
it was really important that we had a good team behind us doing all the technical stuff because there was a lot of stuff going wrong. And we basically only had to play League and do some challenges, and the technical stuff was done by somebody different, but it was really nice. It was really cool, yeah. And the weather was amazing too. Like we went into we had challenges outside of League as well, so we basically had to first time try to do water skiing. You probably did water skiing quick shot, right?
Yeah.
You
So
probably
someone,
did that.
someone
Of
plays
course you did.
Yumi, someone
Of
plays
course you
Yumi, and
did.
they do water skiing at the same time.
water skiing, kneeboarding. I also go diving. It's hard. It's really hard. If you've
I
never done
really
it before,
tried, but I couldn't do it for the
it's
life of
really
my
hard.
like.
Did you do it on a
felt-
zip line? Like you actually you got pulled, or was it with an actual?
Yeah,
boat?
we had like a jet ski in front of us.
Yeah, okay.
And it felt like, you know, this torture method from the medieval times where there's horses trying to pull you apart. That's
What?
basically what it felt like every time I tried to stand on the skis. Like it was impossible.
Nice.
It's the leg day.
I
That's
wanted
all.
to skydive outside the window right now after I know stuff like this. losing to
No,
this kind of thing.
Brizz. You need to
Nice.
stay with us. We still have to talk about the LEC games. We
Oh,
need
let's
you, Brizz.
go.
Because
Nice. Let's
we
talk about
had,
Fnatic.
we
I'm a
have to
fan.
talk about Fnatic. Hey, we got some Fnatic fans. We got some Fnatic haters. Let's talk about LEC that just wrapped up over this most recent week. So we have our first team locking into the LEC playoffs, which is congratulations to KC with their 6-0 scoreline, already securing themselves a really early playoffs. And I want to also touch on MKOI because I watched the MKOI GX series. They unfortunately lost 0-2, which is a big shocker because MKOI is supposed to be
It's only
the third.
unfortunate if you like MKOI. It's only unfortunate if you like MKOI. I think after watching that game, Giant X have to be considered the premier Spanish team. I think if you look at first
Okay.
stand, I was more and more impressed as the first stand or versus, I should say, as versus played out. Like GX kept getting better. GX got to Barcelona, and then look, they shit the bed. But it was their first time on LAN, like in that environment and the crowd. Watching them through spring, still meh, but they stayed plateau. Koi for me just kept going down, and GX is not coming up. So I think GX are the better team. I'm more inspired by their play.
For now.
I didn't expect them to play like this with the change that they had on the roster because I didn't feel like Oscarinin and maybe Flagged, yeah, because Noah sometimes underperforms a bit. Like I didn't feel like Noah was a problem on Giant X. I feel like he is not consistent, let's say like this. And I didn't believe even on the change on Lot in top lane for Oscar because we knew Oscar already from Fnatic and he wasn't like the best player, let's say like this. So I wasn't expecting him to be a good change, okay? But he didn't play bad, so...
Okay, Brizz. So at the end
What's
of the day, was Fnatic right or was Oscar in right with that roster change?
I mean, where are Fnatic right now? On the bottom, right?
Fnatic! Let's talk about Fnatic, everyone. So I think Fnatic are on the brink of death. They might be on their last pulse of this organization in League of Legends, and I don't know if Sola's been watching Fnatic, but it's rough. They
Sadly,
also have,
I did, yeah.
Yeah, they have a brand new top laner, Soboro, all the way from IG. He's Korean ethnically, but he also had time in the LPL, and now he got pulled over to the LEC. I saw this interview where apparently during the contract process, he was saying, yes, I love Fnatic. I remember Fnatic when they were one of the 2 best teams in Europe.
Yeah.
And then people in the comments were like, did Soboro genuinely get gaslit into thinking Fnatic was Fnatic from like 2018?
Wait, but I said it the last time on the podcast, but I was trolling. Wait, it was really like this?
It happened, yes.
Oh my god, man.
Yep.
I mean, if a Korean comes to Fnatic, that's the reason for sure, man.
I watched their game against MKOI in week 2, and I said in the episode last week that based on what I saw against MKOI, I was actually a little bit hopeful. I didn't think it was going to be as bad. What I didn't realize was how bad MKOI were, so therefore my perspectives need to be readjusted. Kitty, I said to Sky out last week that I was hopeful that they would not be as bad. I take back my words. I'm joining the Brizz hype train once again, or anti-hype train. And yeah, 0-3, watching those games against KC, watching the potential be squandered against Heretics. Like there was one good game, was game 2 that they looked okay, but against it's Heretics, I kind of get a little bit more sad. The more games I watch, the more the middle of the table depresses me.
And
I love you, man.
It just feels like this team is completely dysfunctional. Like on paper, the players are not bad, right? Bloody just hit 5k LP in solo queue. Upset is still objectively a good AD carry. Lospa is not a bad support, and top lane was a big upgrade on paper. But
what about Razo?
just feels
You jumped
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
What about Razork?
I mean, Razork is probably the obvious one to criticize. And I read a Reddit article. I mean, it's always a question how serious those things are, but they actually tried to get rid of him, but didn't find anyone who wanted to take him. So not sure how true that is, but yeah, Razork for sure is not the Razork anymore from like 1 or 2 seasons ago, who was like this big leader where you build the entire team around him, which happens,
Genius.
right? Like sometimes people just don't keep up for years, which is okay, but yeah, the team just doesn't work together anymore, and I feel like this split is already, it feels like it's over before it started. Yeah,
but also not just the players. Think about the organization, right? Think about the lack of support and coaching staff and the decision making that's gone there. Think about the fact that like there was the stories that came out 2 months ago about Fnatic being sold and investment groups. Now I do think a lot of people in the community maybe misunderstood what that means. They're like, oh, Fnatic's going to go away. No, you're not going to spend any number of millions and change the logo, change the name. But what you will change is like leadership and management and stuff. I don't know what's happened there, but I think what we're seeing in the front of the house with the players is bad. And what we're hearing from back of the house on management is bad. And it just shows in bad games, and it's just bad all around. I mean, even their other teams, like they're starting to fall apart in Valorant. It's not looking good. Trust me, the teams that are competing at EWC, they maybe would have wanted a different logo on their backs. It's not going well all over.
Yeah, so for context, Fnatic has been a very strong team in League of Legends during the earlier seasons, and we've seen Fnatic Prime in 2018, and Fnatic won Worlds in Season 1. Nowadays, Fnatic is kind of getting carried by their Valorant team, because Valorant has been one of their stock and standard first place teams in EMEA. They did make a very recent Champs Finals against NRG, and they did lose, which is still a shame, but making a grand finals to begin with is very impressive already. But with their most recent result, I think they lost to a tier 2 team, because there's some like promotion relegation. There are like cross-pollination games between tier 1 and tier 2. So a lot of people, once again, are very disappointed in Fnatic as a whole. And that's why the organization hasn't been going super well.
But I mean, to be honest, Fnatic didn't really do that bad last year, right? They didn't really do that bad in 2024. It's not like they have been complete garbage for years and end. They have always been like underperforming in the sense
last year,
of
maybe they started to play actually bad.
Yeah, like this year has been completely disastrous. But last year they went to Worlds. They won LEC.
Yeah.
Was it spring or winter? They got second place in regular split summer. So it's not like they are completely terrible, but they just don't live up to the hype of being one of the best Western teams. And yeah, this year is literally just a disaster. But, it's not like they had it coming for years, right?
But watching on the roster, I still don't feel like they are that actually bad. But it just feels like the players doesn't want to be in the team actually, because Vladi, when you see his performance, is 70, 80 creep behind every time 1v1 against the opponent. And Vladi, last year on KC, was one of the best mid laner on the split. Come on. Like,
but also, I agree with that. I think when you watch the players, but like Sola, I think you're being too kind, because when you look at the organization and you look at how good they were up until 2018, then you go, okay, 2019, 2020, things start to change. You lose your star playing caps. Then Rogue wins tournaments. Then MCOY wins tournaments. Then KC wins tournaments. Okay, they've made a final in 8 years. Okay, I'm being a little bit facetious. It's maybe 1 or 2 more. But I think like you have 8 years of success, and sure, they won Worlds in 2011. More importantly, it was like the legacy. How is it that new teams can come in, new names, new faces, and they are making better decisions, investing in smarter places? We've been able to see Koi go to a back-to-back title team to crushing, and Fnatic is still on a downward trend. So I think the expectations were higher, and that's why, especially for me, I almost worked for Fnatic in 2012. Like I was in negotiations with them to join them as an organization, and I have fandom that goes back 20 plus years. So it's a bit
You
sad
got
to
saved.
see how it's gone. Yeah.
You did the right decision, man. I mean, Fnatic, to me, it looks like they just don't care. Like, I don't even know how they managed to get Soboro, actually. I repeat, because it's
It's
actually
the
a good player.
gaslighting, Brizz.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay, but
gaslighting.
so it means the management knows how to work because they got an insane top laner, actually. Right?
I mean, to be fair, it is also a newer roster with new face and top lane, so it will take a little bit of time to grow into
Yeah.
the role. Let's talk about a team that don't have any new faces. MKOI. So MKOI are having a disastrous split 3 where they need to win 2 out of the 3 games coming up in their remaining schedule to even qualify to the MKOI Roadshow in week 1 of
Insane.
playoffs. Imagine a world where MKOI hosts a fucking Roadshow and MKOI isn't there in Spain. Sola, what does that even mean? Like, are you gonna
Yeah, I
rock up? Like, people
mean-
gonna rock up?
That's always the risk of doing those roadshows, right? So far it has worked out, but it was bound to happen that one day one of those teams will not perform. I mean, they probably could do like a show match or something, but overall it's pretty sad seeing MKOI this split.
It's a disaster.
I mean, you have to do something to get the arena filled, right, with your fans. I think that's still the purpose of this event. But yeah, gameplay wise, MKOI is really disappointing as well, this split. And also, I feel like Ayoya is kind of like in a similar boat like Razork, where they used to be those goated European junglers where you build entire teams around and they basically make or break the team. And right now they are not living up to the hype. But for me, also, one of the big weaknesses in MKOI is top lane. Like, we have so many really stacked top lane players right now who, especially in this year, have started to allow themselves to play those super risky top lanes that pay off if played well, like TF top, Vayne top, Jace, and stuff like that. And I feel like MKOI is just not able to pull off those champs, and that makes you so limited in the way you play, and teams have been able to exploit that really well in the last weeks.
I don't have the feeling Elyoya is the problem, by the way. I mean, if
who's
you
the
watch the
problem?
team, no, I mean, I feel like Supa Alvaro are not working like last year. They are not, and Jojo is like dying a lot. If you watch the game from Koi, you can see Jojo dying level 2, level 3 every game from the ganks. And even when I remember an interview of Elyoya flaming maybe Jojo, or maybe it was Alvaro saying that Elyoya flamed Jojo because Jojo is like emotional player, so he just take the plays how he feels on the game. You know, he's 3-0, so he wants to stomp. He goes in blind, outplaying mechanically, of course, because Jojo mechanics are pretty good, I think, no? You can all agree on this. And I'm watching these games every time Jojo is behind early game. Then he catch up. Then the last game I see from them, he basically started to be on sideline. Didn't care about the result. I think it was against Giant X. And I don't know. I have the feeling something is wrong, but I don't think about Elyoya being the problem. Like,
my biggest thing is I can't put a finger on what I think the main weakness is. Like everybody knows out of the 4 of us, I'm the worst League of Legends player. But to my eyes, MKOI make mistakes in draft, early game, mid game, and late game, and it changes depending on the opponent they're playing
They
against.
just need to fix on their minions,
Right,
their
exactly,
wave
okay.
management, their
My
tower
point
control.
My point is, I can look at like G2, for example, who I'm excited about, and I can go, oh, I can clearly see some things in the early game that I just don't like, right? That to me is simple. And if my gold brain can see that, great. Okay, theoretically, we agree. I saw the nodding. But then I look at Koi and I'm like, what's the 1 or 2 thing you need to fix? I don't know. Maybe it is the intangible. Like, think about that conversation earlier in the year about Mirwin. Like, hey, play good or you get benched. Well, he's not playing good and he hasn't been benched. So what the F is happening?
I do agree with Brizz though that like the individual players just haven't really played to the level that you expect. Like Super had a lot of just random death in like 2-3 games. On support, honestly, it's kind of expected to just die randomly in this meta, where you have to make magic on the map. So that's okay, I guess. But Jojo as well, just a lot of solo kills. The top lane plays really risk averse, just trying to not be the reason the team loses, but also not win. So you just don't have anybody taking the lead and carrying the team, and they are individually insane players. Like last split we talked about, I remember last split the whole conversation about, is MKOI bot lane even better than KC bot lane, which is praised to be like the Western bot lane. So Super was one of the most talented AD carries coming into this year, and we just don't see a lot of that in the summer split so far.
Supa and Kalis had rivalry back in the ERL scene, right? So
remember.
it was a super hyped up narrative carried on into tier 1. And I believe Kalis was the one that was always coming out on top. Supa did get his frequent game wins, but Kalis was undisputedly the more successful player last. Actually, that's to be debated because both Casey and MKOI both got their own titles. But with the remaining matches for MKOI being SK, Team Heretics, and Navi, they need to win 2 out of 3, as a reminder, by the way, to even make their own roadshow. The question becomes, because LEC specifically as an ecosystem has become very reliable on things like roadshows, if your hosting team does an unpredicted run that split, how much does that affect LEC and how much they rely on a system like this?
Well, listen, even with MKOI and Barcelona, they couldn't sell the stadium. So that's not entirely fair. That's not entirely fair in terms of like seats and tickets and stuff. It was about 4 or 5 times the size of the KC one, and that's from Versus. So it's a long time. The bigger thing for me is, what does it mean for MKOI, a team that has, for the most part, been just consistently good? Okay.
Yeah, always top 3, no?
Exactly. I think you can go back and you can say, look, there were times where MKOI were in the conversation for being either first, second, or third, or like third, fourth, fifth, right? But that was really kind of it. There hasn't been many times for, I think, the majority of this year that you can really go, okay, they've been overtaken. Now KC is kind of definitely one up, you know?
Yeah.
What does it mean for the ecosystem? What does it mean if MKOI don't even make playoffs? I'm a little bit more scared because I think it really, really just makes it super clear that EU is just a 2-team region. I think if MKOI don't actually, if they don't actually step up and start playing,
1-team region though.
Fair, I'll take it. If we can have a second competitive team that looks as good as Casey can, they did pretty well at EWC. They took advantage of the environment and the situation. Like, I don't want to diminish the fact they made finals. I also want to acknowledge that there are a number of reasons that play into maybe why, but that doesn't change the fact that they did play well enough to make a final, you know? So I'm just sad. I think also the fan base is huge. I think the potential is huge. And I think it's kind of a scary thing, especially for Riot, especially for MKOI, especially for sponsors, you know, when you do see those sorts of things. But that's also sport. That happens. Yeah. Or, you know, it's the nature of what we do and why we watch, because sometimes you do want to see heroes fall and sometimes you do want to see the underdog climb up.
Yeah, but it's very sad, you know, because maybe the meta, I don't know, maybe the meta is not helping them. I don't know, maybe Mage is meta, but when I watched the first game on the competition, it was G2 against Koi. You remember Supa with Akali against the worst Mage player in the competition, Ansama.
Yeah, okay, loud and clear.
Yeah, and like they demolished the G2, so I was like, yeah, maybe Koi are still, you know, top 3 pretty easily. Like every time it's like this, but then I don't know. It feels like they lost them. Maybe I don't know. I think personally, as a main support, Alvaro is not the same as 1 year ago. That's for sure. That's for sure. I remember
Brizz, do you know what the coach has been saying about the team? And the conversations that have been happening around MKOI? So I think this has honestly been happening for more than half a year, because MKOI have been slightly underperforming over half a year ago, where the coach of MKOI will say out loud to media sources that they will threaten to bench players to the audience because of their underperformance. Like, this is disgusting. We will bench the players.
But then Kitty, listen, you either do it or don't. Like, if you're gonna do that, I actually have no problems with it. I think a tough coaching style can work. It depends on the team, depends on the environment. But then what's the point of having a threat if you never do anything with it?
I agree.
Play good or you get benched. Oh, no, just keep losing. Just keep losing. Don't even make your roadshow. Like, something has to happen.
Maybe even Koi fans want something to change, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like, if they change a top lane or support, I think there's no problem with them. Of course, we have to respect what Mirwin did in the past, because Koi actually won a split, I think, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. Same for Alvaro. I mean, if right now they are not at the level, they just took over other player. Like Soboro in top lane, but, you know, went to a better team, Fnatic.
Fnatic. Let's talk about another team that's pretty good. G2. G2 had a very successful weekend with a 4-0 scoreline, and they swept, I believe it was Team Heretics and Na'Vi. And we had a very interesting interview with Perks, and I believe we do have a graphic since it's been a bit of a it's been a while since we've seen Perks join the team, and I just want to paraphrase. So Yankos had an interview with Perks, and Perks said, "I'm being more creative with my approach to practice. I'm talking to players during scrims about what I want them to do. Things like, let's be aggressive here, let's dive here, or let's play defensive here. You have to speak up and carry. This is not about narcissism, but you can't do it unless you have been a successful pro player. Those are the perks," unironically, of being me. And I have the automatic authority because of my accomplishments as a player. Sola, as a high elo player, do you agree?
I mean, it feels like such an obvious thing for me to have coaches talk in scrims at certain moments of the game, especially if you're someone like Perks, who obviously has a really good game sense from back in the day. And I totally agree that that's something that just feels like the reality of the coaching role is that if you were a good player, people will intuitively listen to you more. I think that's just how it is. There are good coaches who were not high elo, but they have to earn that reputation. And it's totally right that you just have that kind of like trust because you were good. But that coaches talking in game is such a like new thing in League. It seems kind of odd because you have so much more value in like making a play that the coach wants you to do, and then afterwards discussing if it was good or not, rather than the coach seeing that the play should happen, it not happening, and then after the game the coach says, yeah, you should have done that. So it just feels much more efficient to do it that way, honestly.
That's something that Riot's actually been trying to implement, because I don't know if people watch the LCP, and they did do it for the LCK, I believe, a couple splits ago, where they introduced Coach Comms. And Coach Comms is something that Riot wants to implement between games, or I guess in ongoing games, where they give them 30 seconds to just talk to the players. You cannot pause the game. They will still be actively talking and actively playing. It's just the audience cannot hear what the coach is saying. We do get a little camera, so people who can read lip syncing, like low key, that's your way to get into League of Legends. We need some lip syncers to read what the players and the coaches are saying, of course, but that is something that LCP has kept for this split. I don't know how I feel about that, because we also had players like Owner who actively spoke against having coaches talk between games. It's something that League of Legends never done. I know Valorant does it all the time.
G2 stuff, I agree with Owner, actually.
No? You agree with Owner?
Yes. If I have T1 stuff, I agree with Owner for sure.
Listen, but the thing is, every single other sport has the ability for your coaches or analysts to get involved and to give you advice. In football, you do it between halves, you can do it in substitutions, you can literally yell at the players on the pitch, right? In Counter-Strike, in Valorant, you have a limited number of timeouts per half. You call it in between rounds, you have timeouts. I love that the flow of the game doesn't get interrupted. I love that it can happen, so I want to see it. I think it makes sense. I also think, as long as Perks can show me that he's grown up, that he's a leader, that he can translate his ability and his like in-game captainship to coaching leadership, I'm on board. I'm fully on board. I see it working. But that's a very different skill set. Just being good at the game is very different to communicating how to get to somebody to learn, how to teach somebody to learn. So I still want to see it proven, but I'm with Sola. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I see a lot of potential.
But listen, go for it, Kitty. I want to speak, guys. I want to speak. Let me speak.
Brizz. We need to jump into our discussion topic, because I want to bring up the overall idea of just having ex-players becoming the head coach and stepping in, maturing into a role like this, where they were really accomplished and achieved players themselves from a couple years ago, and sharing that knowledge with the younger players. Brizz, I know you've been a player yourself, so how does that benefit you?
But why we are talking about pro players and then you give me Gilius quote on Twitter, man, the worst jungler I ever seen in my life. What the fuck is he even speaking about, man? Come on. The two Mamoons are brilliant after Perz came in. Yeah, I agree with this, but when we speak about G2, the players are brilliant. We speak about Perz. Of course, Perz is giving something more than maybe Dylan Falco on the movements on the map, but I come like I'm 14 years old player, and at my time I did European Master. I won on my league, and coaches back then, it was only about preparation and about draft. It wasn't about teaching players how to play the game, because they weren't retired pro players. They were just people doing coach, studying the game, stuff like this. Maybe even, diamond players, it's fine. But they didn't have the ability to actually tell the players what to do in the game, because maybe they understand the game, but not like the player. Okay, so Perz can actually do it because he did the Worlds final. He played the multi-role mid lane AD carry, so he's actually perfect in this meta as well. Sadly, he has Ansama. I repeat, but come on, Kitty knows he's not a great Victor player. Syndra, Cassio, but even Seraphine.
Maybe the whole point of getting Perz was to actually sub him in
maybe.
all player / coach. Who knows?
Maybe. But how many guys can do what Perz actually does? How many coaches?
You can do everything. You can do it.
No, but hang on. You're assuming that this is all the best case scenario, okay?
Is this the best scenario?
We're talking potential. We're talking upside. I agree. I think it's there. And I think when I watched the reverse sweep at MSI, I saw something in G2's play that made my stomach go, that's a Perks effect. It's something that I've had the pleasure of watching before. I've been lucky enough to commentate his games like in stadiums. There's this intangible thing about a player like him that has the ability to turn games, right? Let me see that more often, and I'm fully on board, right? Show me Skumon bouncing back from what was a pretty difficult, couple of international tournaments. I want to see him playing out Worlds and like pop off. Show me Hans Summer learn to play Victor. As Brizz is saying, and then I'm fully on board.
He doesn't do miracles, but actually the meta is changing, so it will be good for G2. It will be the best meta now. The carry
his Ziggs is decent. Like his Ziggs yesterday was.
That is true. That is true.
Good. I mean, wait, Ziggs is the real AP version. Come on, like every AD carry can play Ziggs.
Honestly, if I could CS for 30 minutes and no one ganks me and like no one gets my flash, I could do the same damage. Low key. I just also want to mention the fact that we just have a lot of achieved players. Like we have Ryu, who joined Genji, and on T1 we have both Mata and EasyHoon. For all the people that don't know, EasyHoon used to share mid lane with Faker. Yeah, so Faker actually became EasyHoon sub back in the day. Quick shout, give us a lore drop. Who is EasyHoon and why is this so significant?
I mean, back in the day, in that season, it was when teams were really trying to experiment with 6 or 7 player rosters. I also believe that Riot had just added the ability to take a sub with you to Worlds. So like there was all this hype that you'd have a sub that could come in and be like a specialist player. Faker made pretty much everything except Azir to EasyHoon's level, right? In that time frame, Azir was pretty much make or break. It was the most played, like the most dominant champion, and EasyHoon's was just better. End of story. I remember, I think it was either the LCK final or the World final. It might have been the LCK final. EasyHoon ended up winning 3-0 and Faker didn't even play. And it was one of the weirdest things being like, SKT T1, because I think that's what they still were at the time, have won the final. Faker didn't even touch the mouse. And you were like, oh, this feels a bit weird. This is a bit strange. Was he sitting in the crowd? I don't even know. But it's one of those things where now when you see how Faker's evolved as a player, it makes a little bit more sense. You're like, okay, cool. There are players that just have mechanically better hands. And I do love the fact you talk about old players becoming coaches. Because again, go look at sports that are newer, right? I'm going to use an American example, but the NFL and American football grew over 20 years, right? From what it was, from the 1940s up into the 1960s and 70s. Around the 60s, 70s, it became the NFL. So you're 20 years of players developing and then being able to move to coaches. Look at Premier League, Bundesliga, Euros, UEFA, like you have decades and decades and decades of experience, and you have a wealth of options, and you have systems in place to recognize not every player will be a good coach. Not every player will be good on a podcast. Not every player will be a good analyst, but there are. And as long as we start figuring out which ones they are, I think our sport and our game will just continue to do well, because you now have parents in the audience. You now have people that have been playing long enough to
Oh my
potentially
god, have you
Drick,
seen
right? Exactly.
the amount of children in League of Legends events that have been happening over the past year? There's been so many, and they wear their little headphone. Oh, they're like earmuffs, so they don't get too much audio for the babies.
My boy will be there. Will be there.
Your boy will be training day one for that League of Legends Worlds title. Okay,
What the fuck are you doing?
Which lane is he gonna play, Christian? Which lane is he gonna play?
2067-year world champion.
He's gonna come in and show the world
Exactly.
what a best mid laner can do. Right?
He will play against Faker in 20 years.
When
Of
Perks is
course.
grey and he's like, that's it. That's quick shots boy there, you know?
I don't think so.
No. We can only dream. But talking about T1 and subbing out Faker for EasyHoon from back in the day, must have been like 2014, 15, something like that. T1 recently did another sub out, and it's something that T1's been doing consistently over the years. I don't know if our fellow co-streamers have heard the news, but T1 had to face against Hanwha Life this week, and T1 decided an hour before the match to sub out Owner for their academy jungler called Painter. The scoreline went 1-2, so Hanwha Life did win, and it was a huge debate because why are you subbing out Owner last minute? Owner did this interview. He was like, I'm looking forward to the match against Hanwha Life. It's going to be close. But T1 just keeps subbing out their players. They did this to Gumayushi as well, Sola.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always a hot topic, right? Especially when one of the crowd favorites gets subbed out. I think probably in T1 every player is a crowd favorite, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you always have to take into account you're not only swapping out a player, you're also automatically taking some of the audience against you. So I feel like the stakes on T1 to sub out the player are even higher. So the reasons for it must be even more fundamental than on other teams. So it feels kind of difficult to judge from the outside, right? Because we only see the gameplay and not what is happening inside of the team. But there has to be something to it, no?
Is this like that? Do we know this for sure? Did EasyHoon, damn it. Did Owner get into an argument with somebody backstage? Like, is this another bin situation? Like, what happened?
Quick shot. So someone actually saw Owner at the Hanwha Life series. He was just sitting backstage. He was laughing. Someone got a little video of him. So it seemed like the vibes were good. And people are throwing it back to when Gumayushi back in 2025 had a bit of a slower split or slower start to the year. And he got subbed out for Smash. And there was this huge debate over, oh, Gumayushi can't play certain champions. That's why Smash got brought in. And then Gumayushi, I believe in interviews, said, this gave me a lot of motivation. And he did come back, bounce back, probably performed the best at the end of the year.
In other words, Kitty, what T1 are doing with Owner is what MKOI have pretended to do and failed at, right? Let's see Owner come back and pop off, right?
Oh, come on.
Whether it looks, what
Are you saying Elyoya is as
Now
good
we
as
talk about
Owner?
Koi and T1.
Listen, I'm drawing a parallel. Koi have come out and said publicly, play better or get benched.
Yeah,
Who would even do that?
Okay,
They just said, we're going to play you. So.
I understand, but if you bench Owner, the crowd is against the staff. If you bench Mirwin and everyone, the crowd is like, thank you. So it's totally different.
Fine. Okay, fine. You got a point. You've got a point.
But I don't know about the change. I think it's just something to give people something to talk about. Like, there's no way there is a problem with Owner 1 month before the Worlds. I'm not cool about this. Come on.
How are they doing in the split, by the way? So 14-4, pretty much locked for plus. Dude, this series doesn't matter. HLE are number 1 in the season. I mean, I haven't watched the games. If you were going to experiment and say, Owner, get good for Worlds or get off the roster, this is the time to do it. And T1 have shown they are willing to cut players with massive fan support.
But do you really think that they will take chances for this Worlds roster? I feel like this.
Nah.
I can't imagine that they are down to make such a drastic change in 2 months before Worlds.
No one.
It feels like it feels like too much of a gamble, and it's not
No
like
team wants
Owner
it.
ran it down 10 games in a row, right?
We don't know how shit their scrims were at EWC and MSI. We don't know how much they're panicking. All I'm saying is, don't rule it out of the realm of possibility that if you make the change now, that Painter gets the experience and you go, right, let's go into playoffs with the academy player and let's get him trained up for Worlds. It's possible. It's possible. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. And with T1's homeground event coming up very, very shortly, I believe it is going to be next week or end of this week. They will be playing in Seoul, and it's going to be a very similar vibe of what KC did in Paris. So T1, I saw fans saying about T1 that if owner doesn't play, does this count as a scam? Like, does this count as fraud if owner is not playing on the stage? I saw a chain of threads that said, I paid millions to visit Seoul for this home ground, and if owner doesn't play, I feel betrayed. So, I mean, this is just sports, right? Crickshaw, you mention all the time that players get threatened for their starting position.
Not only just that, go to the World Cup. Who did it? Norway. Norway's team knew that they were going to make it into the round of 32. And for the very last stage game of groups, they decided to rest Haaland and the rest of the starting 11. There are people that have paid tens of thousands of dollars and euros to get to that game, and they didn't get to see Eric Haaland play. You know, Wallowy. Everybody knows the Haaland song. Do I like it? No. Did it work out for Norway in that scenario? Yes. Do I think it's the same situation here? No. But you've got to decide what do you have a team for? Are you playing to win? Are you using your resources correctly? Or are you trying to get the largest following for your co-streamers and branding?
Quick shot. I completely forgot. But for all my friends and family back at home, T1 have officially announced that they will be debuting their players at their home ground event as K-pop stars, aka T1 Stars, the K-pop boy band, will be making their debut.
Oh my god!
At the home ground.
Are you actually serious?
Yes, it is a whole announcement by Spotify. It's backed up by a huge sponsor, and
so
they're
explain
releasing
this
a
to
single.
me. Are they singing? Oh, for fuck's sake!
They're releasing a single, and they already had their teaser photos being sent out by the Spotify Korea account.
Should we make a song, Brizz, Sola? Should we just let's get the auto tune out? Let's do.
They did that back in the day with the German national team, like 50 years ago. They sang like old school German songs, and it was it was kind of iconic, but it was also like
a bit shit.
I will not doing
any
question.
Shit is a good explanation.
Yeah.
Like maybe owner didn't want to play the game because they're forcing him to do K-pop.
There was this discussion around T1 fans where apparently the T1 players, out of 365 days, 100 plus were doing sponsors and activations, either flying or just not practicing at all. And this doesn't even include their like on-day stage games. So for T1, like, is this something that is also contributing the way that T1 are treating their players and the way they want to benefit from this roster too?
I mean, honestly, we are debating if like this roster swap will have impact on Worlds and stuff, and maybe the reality is in the end, owner was just boot camping for the K-pop debut. Like he just had to train his dance moves and did like a sabbatical somewhere, and just had a private tutor or something.
Look at the other way around. You could go even more sinister and dark. Was it Zeus at the end of last year that had all the contract negotiation drama and they weren't going to pay what he wanted? And like, just saying, there's other aspects that could come into play.
Owner in Anwa Life, nice. Let's do T1 in another team.
Exactly.
I mean, it is well known that T1 do announce their player contract extensions when they host these homeground events. So I believe everyone. Hayes is signed until 2028 or something. Carrier Faker just announced that they are both signed to 2029. The only ones that are left will include Owner and Doran.
Bye, Doran.
We don't know who is going to be extended for this homeground event. So that is going to be quite spicy.
There's going to be
another episode of HopEUm to discuss.
Yeah, until we see the contract extension, we can only give game theories, I suppose. I mean, guys, have you guys seen the LPL news of the split?
Flandre.
Yes!
Yes!
Flandre has been officially announced as the top laner for BLG. He will be replacing Wenbo, who was the substitute on BLG.
Upgrade.
And we don't know if Bin's coming back or not. What do you think?
I don't want it back.
Upgrade
this is a massive
BLG?
upgrade. Flandre into BLG with Knight and with Viper. Bin took too many resources, and I think Flandre is a better fit for the team as a whole.
What do you mean resources?
I'm on board.
Pick on top lane. What? They don't give it. What? You are on board. But Bin was blind picking against Zeus on MSI. What?
Yeah, he was. And Flandre is an actual world champion, somebody who's actually picked up the trophy and won it. Has Ben done that? No. Who can play weak side? Who's more versatile, right?
Let's
Is
see.
Ben individually a better player? Yes. No argument. Is Flandre better for the team? Yes. And you'll apologize to me when it proves right.
Yeah, so what? I mean, we got BLG winning LPL split, first stand, second LPL split, final of MSI, and they're changing roster, which is actually, they had to do it because Bin was actually a problem, okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a problem outside the game and inside the game as well at the end, but...
So you agree with me?
I agree, but wait, I don't think the team will improve. That's what I think.
To be fair.
Okay, so I'm not too deep into LPL, but isn't like Flandre, at least nowadays, like super weak side warrior? Like, isn't he like only playing Shen on stuff like that?
So
Knights.
Flandre
He's not gonna
came
work.
over from AL. He was previously on Anyone's Legend, and they did their miracle run back in 2025, where they were pretty much the hope of the LPL, thinking that they were going to take the MSI from start to finish. But they did fall short against, I believe, T1. And AL have been on a downward trajectory ever since Tabe left. That is the overall narrative for AL. And Flandre, who heard the news of Bin leaving BLG, decided to drop out of AL and join BLG. Did you see that rumor, quick shot? Apparently a BLG player recommended Flandre to join BLG. Oh,
I'm not
really wonder
surprised.
who that
I'm not
is,
surprised. I can
guys.
only imagine there must be an ace up his sleeve or something. I can't recall.
Yeah.
But listen, I hear what Brizz is saying, and Sola. I got to watch a bunch of Flandre a couple months ago. I think that individually and in terms of some of the meta right now, that like carries and these weird picks can work. I think there's some risk there. But go look at the rest of this fucking team. Go look at what On can do on every single champion. Go look at Viper. Go look at Knight. If the team restructures and you have a super weak side warrior that you can pick safe picks, you can keep getting beneficial setups for your mid or your bottom lane. How do you not see this being an upgrade for the team as a whole?
Anwa Life and T1. That's why. Because we have Bates. No. Because we have Bates, who is the best AD carry in the world right now. Carry, a best support in the world. And taking a weak top lane, a weaker 1v1 top laner. Of course, Flandre, weak side as you speak, okay? Pretty solid. Maybe the team will play overall slightly better in league. But you have a weak top laner that will not stomp Doran, first of all. And for sure, will not stomp Zeus. Because when you watch Bin against Anwa Life, he's actually playing the game against Zeus. I wanna see Flandre play the game
Is
against
he?
Zeus. Yeah.
To be debated.
We will see. We will see Flandre. Come on.
Okay.
What do you think, Kitty? Because I think you watch more LPL than the rest of us.
I am surprised it got announced so late because it was already rumored that Flandre dropped out of AL, which he hasn't been playing for 2 weeks on stage. And Wenbo, the junior player on BLG, was 100% winner until their most recent series against Top Esports, and you had 2 rookie top laners, which is really good for the overall LPL ecosystem where you have rookie players coming up and actually filling out the shoes of 369 and Bin. Being able to just pull through is already really impressive. Top Esports did take the series at the end of the day and win 2-0, I believe, and the second game was really embarrassing. It was quite the stomp. So that's why BLG finally announced Flandre. However, for my Bin fans from the West, Bin is not officially out. He is still in Shanghai. I believe people spotted him shopping around the Jing'an area, which is pretty close to where the BLG bootcamp or the facility is.
So what do you think that
out.
means?
He's
But
not
hang
out.
on. What does that mean contract-wise? Are you thinking he's like there's going to be some play for him back on BLG? Is he going to a different team? What does it mean?
There's no
The
way you are
question
actually
is-
having Flandre and Bin on the same team.
The
There's no way.
question
I agree with
is-
that.
Will Bin ever accept his role that he has to share time with
No.
someone else, with Flandre?
No.
Because
No.
Flandre already spoke out with the manager, and the manager actively gave this out to media, where he is willing to accept the fact that he is only here temporarily and he will be switched out whenever BLG decide to. So Flandre is truly here as a band-aid. He accepts his role as a band-aid. But does Bin
That's what he does. He's a top laner.
Also-
That's weak side.
accept the fact that he has to share time with someone else? Because
So
Bin,
wait. Flandre is not like Like he knows that he can be benched for Bin.
Yes.
Like,
So Bin is still on the roster. That is correct. And Flandre accepts the fact that he is here to play or share time with Bin. And
That's how I think he's going to kick the shit out of everyone, and they're going to stick.
Okay,
with
okay,
Flandre.
okay,
And
Sola,
Brizz will
Sola.
have to apologize.
Exactly. The next question is, will MKoi Bin be a thing? Because that's what everyone on EU is saying. MKoi Bin, what do you think? Hypothetically, does that work?
Look, I will answer this. The only team that can take Bin in Europe is Fnatic.
Yeah.
Good
Fnatic?
job, Quisha.
Was there ever a Chinese player imported to the West? No, right?
What?
Mm.
Your boy
Xiao Wei
Bo?
Xiao.
Oh yes, Vitality
Yes,
jungler
on
with perks.
KC and
It
Vitality.
failed.
Oh,
It failed miserably.
Wait, who?
Miserably. Bo.
Oh, Bo, right, true.
Yes. The reason you forget about him is it was
The
so
photo of the
disappointing
cigarette?
and so bad, and it failed. And
What is
we
he
did
do-
also
is
have
he
the
playing anywhere? No, right? He's
we
just
had the inverse.
vanished.
We had Italian Chinese go to LPL
Mhm.
with Shadow.
Shadow.
Right? So
Yeah.
that was a
Now he's
bit
in
of
the
a win,
LCP.
right? I think I would love to see Bin and Alyoya argue through a translator.
why
That
are
would
we
be
talking about
awesome.
this? Come on, guys. Come on. The real question is not this. The real question is, will Bin found another team in China when everybody knows the problem that Bin can bring to a team, you know? Not inside the game, but outside the game and
Yeah, but listen,
inside the game.
is there a parallel? Can you draw a parallel? This might be too old of a reference for you, Kitty, but like Forgiven, right? Isn't there parallels here that like individually and in game the impact he has is huge, but then out of game there's all these stories and these personality conflicts and things like it never worked for him.
Forgiven is not Bin, man. Come on.
Okay, fair. I'm just drawing a parallel to try explain. You know,
Okay, but everybody here knows that Bin, if he's not the number one in the world as a top laner, is the second with Zeus. Like you don't even know if Zeus is better than Bin right now, and you don't know if Bin is better than Zeus. You know that he's the best top laner with Zeus.
Well, it has to be Zeus because at least he's playing.
I mean, right now, yeah, of course, but before the problems in BLG, you know, Bin is the best player in the world in top lane. So, I mean, he will find another spot in another team for sure. Okay, that's 100%.
Assuming contract jail, right? That's the other thing. How
Okay.
much will it cost? Do you buy him out? What are the terms on it?
When does his contract expire, Kitty?
I'm not sure.
We don't
Bin-
know when his contract expires, but
Okay.
the problem is will Bin even go to another team where he cannot see the title? Because I feel like his pride and his ego, he needs to be on a
Ooh.
winning team. And the
Ooh.
current top
According
teams
to
are very scary.
sorry to interrupt, but according to AI, Billy Gamer's top laner Bin has a contract expiration date of November 17th, 2026. That's according to the global contract database.
Ah.
After Worlds. That's after Worlds. So will he go? If BLG want to be real petty, if BLG want to be real, like, I think they literally pay him these last few months and just let it expire, and then he picks us. The only thing is, if they were to do it, it would make more sense to sell him because you don't want to just waste all that money. You want to get the money for the player. Like, that's how that works, right? So I think it's possible. That he could go to another team, could be sold to another team.
Now the ultimate question is, and I want an answer from all of you guys. Will BLG be more successful with Flandre, or do they need Bin back? What's the answer? Quickshaw, let's start with you.
Yes, they can, and I believe will be more successful with Flandre. I believe it benefits the team as a whole.
Okay, Brizz?
I mean, it means that they have to win Worlds because they reached every single final. They won the first split. They won first stand. They reached final on MSI. It means that Flandre has to give to BLG the cup.
Okay, fair enough.
They will not do it. There's no way.
Sola, what do you think?
I think once you take in Flandre, there's no going back to Bin, right? Like at least to the split. Like we just talked about Bin not wanting to share his spot, so I feel like there's no going back, and I don't think they will win Worlds. I don't think China is that good as a region this year.
Okay, because I believe me and my community actually had this conversation. Technically, BLG never got to win Worlds with Bin anyway, so you might as well switch him out for something else because the bar is
Thank
0
you.
trophies. So let's see how things go because we once again have EDG, Viper, and Flandre reunited from the 2021 champions team. And guys, did you guys see the most recent update from Sheep Esports? Did you guys see what Vladdy's LP is right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
5,000.
let's
I did see it, yeah.
Let's
Nice.
announce it.
That's
Mid laner
crazy.
Vladdy, the Fnatic player, is the first player to reach 5,000 LP in League of Legends history.
What does this mean? Explain to me in terms of like hours or games.
Every one of us is closer to Iron 4 than to being the same rank as Vladdy right now.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Like
That's
literally.
insane.
I
Will
think
we
he has
ever
almost
see
2K
5,000
games
LP?
this season already.
In our lives, in this lifetime, 2K
No way.
games.
Yes.
I
Imagine
would.
that the wartime record holder 5,000 LP he still didn't win a single game till split. That's insane, actually.
That means Vladdy's not the problem. I mean, Loki,
I mean,
like
who
if
knows,
you're a
right?
solo Q Andy, Vladdy might not be the problem. But let's just talk about how insane this is. Because, first of all, Riot decided to change the system. You get inflated LP these days due to Ages of Valor, where you can get either double LP or you don't lose LP because you were auto-filled or some weird circumstance. To all my solo queue grinders, we are all aware of this, especially in the Apex tier. The problem is, back in the day, pro players used to religiously grind solo queue for visibility as they were aspiring pro players. But now, the fucking ladder is 5,000 LP for Challenger rank 1. How do you ever, first of all, reach rank 1 as someone who is potentially employed or going to school, and you cannot commit 2,000 games to League of Legends and get rank 1? And second of all, this is absurd. Like 5,000 LP. Dude, rank 1 back in the day used to be 1K. Right, Sola? Like, as a high elo
I mean,
player?
let's be honest, if you are employed or going to school, you're not gonna reach rank 1 anyways.
Yeah.
So no matter DLP. But yeah, I think like two big things changed this year, right? As you said, you have the Ages of Valor stuff, but also they just straight up removed the soft cap. Like there was a soft cap, I think around like 2K LP, where you just didn't get a lot of LP. You got like +8. And now I'm not sure what Vladdy's gains are, but you just gain LP like a normal player.
So
and
are
basically
you saying this is more or less impressive, Sola?
honestly, like more or less impressive than reaching rank 1 in other seasons, you mean? Or
Yeah, correct.
I think this season, like I'm nowhere close, though. I don't want to diminish the achievement at all, but I think this season just grinding is more important than ever. Like you couldn't get rank 1 by just playing a lot in the last years. You had to actually have an insane win rate as well. And Vladdy has like 55% win rate, which is good. But the main reason he's rank 1 is because he has almost 2,000 games.
2,000
with
games, I
this
just
win
saw
rate.
it as well. That's crazy. Like, how can you do so much solo queue with Fnatic screams? Like, no,
Maybe
I'm
they're
not
not
joking.
screaming.
Like, you have double scream block of 5 games, and then you're 2,000 game in solo queue. Do you even have a life?
Okay, hold on. Let me ask another question here, so I can also quantify this. Sola and Brizz, you might remember this. I'm sure you will. The 3,000 Elo shockwave from
Forellen Lord.
Forellen Lord. Thank you. Okay, when Forellen Lord hit 3K, was it harder for him to hit 3,000 than it was for Vladdy to hit? Okay, are you more impressed with Forellen Lord or Vladdy? I'm not diminishing. I'm just looking at a record that was 10 or 12 years ago, and now the record today. Sola, you're smiling ear to ear.
Go
I
for
mean,
it, Sola.
it's just a whole different timeline, right? But back in the day, it was thought impossible to reach 3K.
Yes.
Like nowadays, when you saw 2K, 3K, 4K being broke, I don't think anybody 5 weeks ago would have said 5K is impossible. And we will probably see somebody hit 6K this year, and maybe even 7K
Maybe
if they
even
don't
more.
change
Who knows?
something. So it's still impressive to be the first to do it, right? But it's less impressive because nobody feels like it's not doable, for me at least.
What's the current
I'm
LP
not
cutoff
impressed.
for EU? Brizz, are you close to
let's not talk
Chow?
about it.
What
Oh,
did
it's
he-
like
What's the cutoff,
2.3K
guys?
or something. It's completely crazy.
I mean,
I don't
I
know,
remember
man.
back in the day, rank 1 EU would be 2K LP, straight up. But now, I believe because Riot changed the way you gain LP, Vladdy might be getting plus 30. You get plus 30, you get minus 30.
Probably,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter what
That means it
LP
doesn't
you
matter.
are.
Take your 5K. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed.
Not
Do a Forellen
impressed?
Lord shockwave, then I'll believe in you. Then I'll get hype.
Exactly. But what does this mean for younger players? Because if you need 2,000 games to get rank 1, how do you,
know what it
become a
means?
pro these days?
No, what it means to me, I think because there's a news post and discussion around 5K, and then there will be a 5.5K, and then there will be a 6K. I actually think it's good because I do think, yes, look, spamming the amount of games is completely unrealistic. It's completely unachievable for the overwhelming majority of players. But for somebody that does have a competitive soul, I see that and it makes me more interested again. And I get excited by it. Like, I got very tired of hearing people like Brizz, Sola, yourself, Kitty, complaining about no more LP and how slow it was and how hard it was. I don't give a shit about streamers complaining about LP.
So you are not a player, man.
So I'm tired of that. And I'm more happy about positive, uplifting stories. So I think it's more inspirational.
All right, Crickshot, I'll see you in rank 1 EU, I guess.
Why the fuck
is
this guy
challenge buddy?
I mean, what the fuck is this? So Kitty's challenger in Australian server.
Every single one of you has complained to me about LP. Every single one of you has started this show by going, LP, LP. Tell me I'm lying.
We are players. You are gold stacked. You are not playing the game. We are grandmaster players. Of course we are complaining. What?
I mean, to be honest, the goalpost hasn't really changed, right? It doesn't matter if I need 100 games with 8 LP or 100 games with plus 30 LP. You know? The total amount of games is still the same. It just feels more out of reach, even though it isn't. But to answer your question, I think for newer players and also for like young players coming up, of course, you basically have to start grinding when the reset happens to have a realistic chance of reaching high ranks easily. But the reality of Challenger is also, it doesn't matter if you're rank 50 or rank 200, you basically get the same games, right? So the games aren't getting much harder. And I feel like the main way to get noticed is just to play good in those games, right? You have so many people streaming their games, so many pros being in those games. If there's some random that nobody has ever heard and he just crushes every game, it doesn't matter if he's rank 1 or rank 100, people will notice. So I think
that's for sure.
It's not harder to get noticed. It's really fucking hard to get to the level to get noticed, but I feel like if you're good enough, then you will get noticed for sure.
Okay. Do we have any solo queue demons coming up for you guys? Anyone impress you so far?
No, I mean every player I found in solo queue are fucking one-trick pony right now. I'm so tired, man. Like, there's no player playing every champion. So I go in, I see Talon one-trick, I lose the game. I see Master in my team, I win the game. I see Katarina, I know I lose. What's up, Kitty?
Hear the news about that Ghoster guy? Talking about one-trick ponies,
Ronaldo!
I think in EU
Ronaldo.
there's so many one-trick ponies. Apparently, this Ghoster, who was very proud of ghosting. He was streaming himself, sniping other one-trick pony streamers who were live on Twitch, would actively ban their champion and pinpoint every second where the enemy team is. And it's really fucking annoying to play against. And he got rank 1. He was like 2 games above Vladdy, which is really impressive as well. But then he didn't get the wins cleanly, right? And he went onto Twitter and posted about it. He said, rank 1 EU at 4.9k LP, I believe. That post was live for 3 days, and it had, I believe, 200 likes and probably 150 comments with 1 million views. And did you guys ever play against this Ronaldo guy? Was he actually egregiously ghosting and stuff like that?
I stomped him. He was playing botlane with he was playing botlane with Kenzuke. I think it was a mid laner guy. I don't remember. We were duo botlane. They went 0-12. That's my
so is this
aura
guy actually
right
bad? So is he like stuck masters?
No, he's not bad. He's not bad.
Just an arsehole.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good player. But to get back to your question, I have one guy in solo queue that I'm really like having my eyes on. It's a bit personal as well because he's the jungler of Eintracht Spandau, which is basically next to me, the office. But he has, I think, one of the highest win rates in the upper like 50s, 60s. It's Xagok. He's also pretty young. He's like 21, 22. And we just said, right? Vladdy has 2,000 games to get rank 1. Xagok is ranked 20 with like 500-600 games and 60% win rate. And for me, that's more impressive. Even though 5k AP rank 1 is insane as well, but like having insane win rates is much more impressive for me personally. So yeah, he's really young. He's a really cool guy. I've spoken to him a couple of times, and I think this guy might go places in the next years.
Go talk to Fnatic. They need a new jungler for sure.
I mean, if you give me their number, then I will call them.
You want to send your rookies over to Fnatic? Well,
but you're probably getting an AI answer if you call Fnatic right now, right?
AI drafts. Exactly. Fnatic were saying earlier this split, or maybe 2 splits ago, was it Quickshot? Like they said that they were implementing AI help and stuff because they were so understaffed.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where I actually think what they intended was like we're gonna have tools to support us, which I
Yeah.
think would have been good, but they fumbled the messaging so badly, and it's constant just mistake after mistake when you think about the fans. I mean, and have you heard anything since? I haven't heard any follow up or seen anything. So was it bullshit? Was it real? Is it the AI coach? Was it an AI speaking to Saboro? Who knows?
I mean, I thought like the cam when you see the drafts and you have the cam on the coach. I was hoping to see the coach of Fnatic with the phone talking to the AI for drafting and stuff like this. It would be cool actually. But...
Yeah.
Of course. And because we don't have much time left, we need to quickly do our preview for the LEC next week.
Yeah.
LEC has been on 4 days every single week, and I'm honestly overstimulated by how much League of Legends there is for specifically LEC. Like, it's so weird seeing both. It's on Friday and then it's also on the Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
But I believe Monday doesn't have a crowd, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, miserable. Let's start off with the schedule really quickly as we approach the upcoming week on August the 14th. Our first series will be Shifters versus SK, Vitality GX. And for the Saturday, we have SK versus Fnatic,
Yes.
Shifters versus G2. Sunday, we have Navi versus MKOI, Fnatic versus G2, which should
Good.
back in the day be a banger. But I don't know about
Hang on. You're still so
2026 guys.
young. You're still so young because SK Fnatic was the original banger. Then G2 Fnatic was the version 2 banger, and none of the games this weekend will be any bangers at all.
Maybe someone who
they
quit
just
watching
look
LEC
one-
5 years ago
they
comes
just
back
look
and it's like, whoa, it's
one-sided.
Fnatic G2.
For me, the match that I'm the most excited by, we talked about this briefly earlier,
Navi.
Kitty. No, for me, it's actually GX Vitality because I want to see how the second best Spanish team does against the second best French team to see organization, because I want to see them both like climbing up and doing well. But this weekend for me is just stomp after stomp, and like the Simpsons meme, I think it is, with the two monkeys on the boat with the knife. That's what I see.
We also have a Monday game. So we also have Heretics versus Navi, GX KC to wrap up the week. I personally, my match of the week, depending on how you want to spell it, is going to be Vitality versus GX. Because Vitality is playing. Yep. And
that was
that's
so
because
good.
it's a truly battle of the middle place. A middle of the table, Vitality looking like they're still fighting their footing in the LEC.
This is third and
Fiesta.
fourth. This is third
That's
and
middle
fourth.
of the table, quick shot.
That's upper table. Sorry. that
Upper
was just
table?
Really good.
That's a
It's
tall
a really
table.
small table.
Very
Alright.
small table.
Let's give a quick prediction between Vitality and GX. Who do you think is going to win between that best of three? Let's start with Sola.
Ooh, I really like how Vitality is playing right now. I'm gonna give it to Vitality.
Score?
Okay.
Let's
go?
do 2-1, so Kitty gets 3 games.
I think it will be 2 games, and I think Fiesta is playing better right now. He got a rough start. Right now he's playing a bit better. I think it will be 2-0 for Vitality.
I am going to believe in GX.
Oh, come on, man.
And I want to see Flackett do well. As a former G2 player, as somebody that I had the pleasure of speaking to and hanging out, I have a bit of a soft spot for Flackett as a human being. I don't really care too much for the rest of the team, but I want to see Flackett do well. So I'm going to go 2-1. There's no reason other than I want to see an old friend pop off.
Oh, okay. Looks
And I
good.
want to see BB and Flackett recreate that photo with Caps. Do you guys remember the photo of them being at the basketball court at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and they're like, guess what we're doing? And they're all shirtless at a basketball court in the middle of Berlin. We don't know what they're doing.
They had quite a bromance. They actually quite a bromance, didn't they? I forgot about how close they were and how kind of weirdly homoerotic a lot of their content was back in the day.
A lot of LEC players show a lot of bromance, but we also have some bromance on the podcast. What are we doing for the rest of the week? We have to say goodbye to our beautiful faces. Quick shot, what are you going to be up to for this week?
Trying to sleep, team. No, at the moment, it's. I've got a few other projects. I'm still doing some stuff with EWC. If anybody has watched any EWC and you see Ovely, good friend, doing content, I'm one of the writers and the producers behind the scenes. So I've got some remote work that I'm working on. I'm also hopefully going to be doing a show in Istanbul at the end of the month. I'll announce all details there. So I'm working on that.
Okay.
And then preparing for HopEUm next week. So being a dad and trying to stay cool in Berlin because it's hot as hell, trying to sleep. And then, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Brizz,
What about your
any solo queue games?
Yeah, what about Quickshon playing solo queue?
Listen, if there was enough time, I would.
Oh my God.
I will.
You could
I
hit
will.
5K if you
My
wanted to.
boys growing up in the not too distant future, I'll put him on my chest and I'll do some part of the podcast with him sleeping. So
Really?
when I can do
Aw,
that,
very
then I can play.
sweet.
Yeah.
I will
Okay,
stream
okay.
harder. Oh, I will normally play solo queue. I will start stream co-streaming LCK as well. So I actually start to watch good League of Legends. And
Debatable
Yeah.
these days, to be honest.
and yeah, usual things, co-streaming LEC, normal stuff, normal streamer stuff. That's it.
And winning in solo queue.
And I lost hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
No. Hopefully we'll get some wins. Sola, what about you?
I'm really excited for the solar eclipse actually tomorrow. So I'm not sure if you've heard about
Solar
that, but
eclipse?
yeah, there's gonna be like almost full solar eclipse tomorrow.
Why are you turning the sun off, Sola? Is it a total solar eclipse of my heart?
Oh my god. Okay. I thought we were talking about some like sunglasses stuff with our. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, the solar eclipse is happening tomorrow, so I'm gonna.
Dude, you should brand it that way. So it's you doing it. You know?
I
That's
think it's hard to
your
copyright that
eclipse,
one.
bro. That's
It's
your
mine, yeah.
eclipse.
I'm
Yeah,
personally
exactly.
responsible
You
for it.
own it.
Yeah, but other than that, just some chill league. I'm actually really enjoying the meta right now. Most people on bot lane are not, but I'm playing like everything. I'm playing Silas
love
bot,
playing
I'm playing
Ziggs.
Yasuo, Katarina,
Okay.
Zig. I'm playing everything, and it's so much fun. It's
What's
so
your
nice.
go-to anti-mage counter?
Oh, anti-mage, I would just go Silas every game. Silas is so cool on bot lane.
Okay.
I hope you can see my Silas in solo queue, Brizz. I hope you can see it.
I hope I can see it against me. For sure, man.
Let's see if you guys queue into each other. And of course, shout out to Brizz for actually wearing his sunnies the entire show. For us,
What do you
Spotify.
mean? No, I usually wear these the whole day.
Yeah.
It's my normal glasses.
True. We've never had a Brizz eye reveal before. So at the end of the day, I claim as the host of HopEUm that Brizz was the most stylish out of our
Thank
three
you.
contenders
Hey.
of Sunny Wears. Congratulations, Brizz, and we'll see you all of your beautiful faces in a future episode of HopEUm. Thank you so much for joining.
Ciao.
Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Beautiful episode with our G2 content creators and of course Trevor as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. However, it is not finished yet as we have the Winamax predictions for the upcoming LEC. And I've been given the pleasure of watching LEC as an official G2 co-streamer as of this. Say the LEC definitely have some very interesting games. For the upcoming games, I predicted that SK will win 2-1 against Shifters, Vitality 2-1 against GX. For the August 15th, we have SK 2-1 against Fnatic, G2 2-0, our first G2 2-0 of the week. And of course, for the 16th, we have MKOI 2-1 against Na'Vi, which I give them a little bit of hope. I hope MKOI can truly bounce back. I do want to see them go to their roadshow. And GX and G2 with the 2-0 against Fnatic. Finally, on our Monday, we have Na'Vi 2-0 against Team Heretics. That's going to be quite one-sided in my opinion. And finally, KC, the only team who have been confirmed for playoffs in 2026 Split 3, are going to 2-0 against GX. Feel free to join our community Discord to discuss the upcoming LEC games and make sure that my predictions are correct in the Winamax prediction because I will be co-streaming all of those games as well. So feel free to join into either the G2 channels or of course my own personal channel on Twitch as we will be watching all the games together. Thank you so much for listening in either on Spotify, YouTube, or Twitch. Make sure to follow us on socials. We also have TikTok and Instagram for any highlights from the podcast. So thank you so much for listening in once again, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.